Hey y'all, welcome back to another SJGames Live. I'm Hunter.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we're masked up because we got both of us on camera, obviously, and we're still doing masks, unlike some of the state. We have got something fun today, something that people on social media kind of inadvertently requested. They didn't outright ask me, but every time I've been posting about the Zodiac Die, people are really interested in what it is and how it functions. And also, we can get a closer look at it because this is one of the dice that I hadn't actually gotten to bust out and actually roll around and use. So,
Right. It's big too.
yeah, so I figured out we'd show off the dice, kind of show how you'd want to, like one way of using it, and kind of explain what's going on. So in the Zodiac Die, you get this little booklet, which kind of explains the different zodiac signs, all 12 of the zodiac, or all 12 of the traditional astrological zodiac. And you get this really chunky D12 with really awesome little symbols on it that represent each one. It's very clear. We'll do an overhead in a little bit, and you'll get to see it a little bit closer. But it's a lot of cool symbols on it representing all the different zodiac. And what you're using this for is essentially generating your characters, like a general idea for characters.
Right.
You'll use it for. It actually has a cool explanation here, which I'll go through in a sec as well. But it's essentially you have like a sun sign, a moon sign. You're using astrology, so
Using astrology to give kind of general concepts for your character and everything.
exactly. So
But,
yeah,
but semi-randomly generated.
but semi-randomly. So there's some benefits to it. So I come from a world of RPG in general where I'm always like, oh, I'm going to make my own character. I want to determine everything about the character. The one catch with that is that I sometimes I'll catch myself repeating tropes. I feel like a lot of the time from my time in college till today, I've probably played a very similar character half the time I've played RPGs. So
Like you always have the one guy who plays the kind of sneaky borderline rogue in the group.
Exactly.
Every time he makes a character.
it's like here's our monk, here's our guy that's going to be the strong silent type.
There's the bard.
Exactly. This gives you an idea of like how I want to, like I can mix it up with how I'm doing it, and it's not necessarily all up to me there, but it gives me some rules to play with where I can still make up something that's my own, but maybe something outside of how I would normally play the character. This
It's
isn't
jumping off point for other stuff.
exactly. I do have Fantasy Trip out here. This is Death Test. This is the solo Death Test 1 and 2. This is the solo adventure that works with Melee and Wizard. The two starter sets essentially for the Fantasy Trip.
Right.
And the idea with these characters we're making, what I'd like to do is potentially play this with a campaign with us. Just nothing crazy, just like going through maybe Death Test 1, taking a couple of these characters through it, seeing what we can do. We actually played Death Test on our stream, I believe, in 2019.
Yep. We did our series Live in the Labyrinth.
Yep, that was
That's
a
what I called
lot of fun. This will not be that. This will be showing you on like kind of more basic equipment, on stuff that will actually come with Wizard, that comes with Melee, that comes with Death Test. You can actually see counters. We were doing like 3D terrain before. We're going to show you kind of like what we did last week with Ogre, more of like the game itself out of the box, which is still really cool. You just get there's a lot of stuff crammed in there. You get kind of that old school feel.
Well, and one of the things, especially in the basic version of like Melee and Wizard, those were very arena and mechanical based systems.
Yes.
So there's not a lot in there for fleshing out the character beyond the things that they can do specifically.
Yeah.
Until you get up to professions and things that are in the wider in the labyrinth stuff.
Exactly.
So this allowed you like, oh well, yeah, I made my fighter who uses this weapon and this shield and this fighting style, but beyond that, there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's all in your head. So this can also be a jumping off point of, all right, well, I made these three guys. What are they like?
Yeah, so essentially what we're going to do, we're not going to be statting the characters. We're going to come up with backstories and maybe like names and stuff like that with this. That's what this is kind of made for. Not necessarily names, but the backstories. We can kind of come up with
Names.
what we want to call them then.
We need a name die. Because names are always where I get stuck.
The fun thing with this is that it also is it's completely agnostic of RPG. It doesn't matter what you're playing or what you're doing with it. It's literally usable with any RPG. There's nothing specific to like the Fantasy Trip and anything like that. It just gives you
fantasy.
Yeah, or even fantasy. It just gives you the idea of what the different signs are doing and what their general idea is. There's a little introduction here. It talks about the way to use the die, how you can roll for births. It's like the first sign's the sun sign or birth sign. I'll actually go through this because I'm actually astrology. I'm not exactly an astrologist type of guy. That's not my forte. But it's interesting because obviously it's like the sign. the pseudoscience of stars, if you will, or whatever. It's fun. It's really
Right.
fun.
And it can give a framework to work in.
Exactly. So essentially, for each of these characters, we're probably gonna make 2 each. I'd like to make us each to make at least a wizard, and us each to make some kind of a fighting character.
Okay.
So we will have some options. So for each character we're making, we're going to be rolling three dice. So we'll roll the dice 3 times.
Okay.
The first roll is your sun sign or birth sign. It's the most important. Most people know their own sun sign. So this is essentially what we would consider like the one we were born. Like I'm a Sagittarius. I was born in December. What are you?
Pisces.
Okay, cool.
Right.
So we won't work with that as the rule, but like for us,
Like
that would be
that's the one that most people know is their sun
exactly.
sign.
The second roll is the lunar sign or moon sign. For gaming purposes, it affects the emotions. Add the second section of that, or second section of the sign to your base rating. So, the first one is your kind of like your overall character is based on that.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, it's just your emotions of the character, kind of based on the emotions part.
Okay.
And the third roll is their ascendant or rising sign, based on the exact time and location of birth. It affects the character's inner nature. And if you roll the same sign for any one of these things, it kind of just enhances that part of you. So if it's like, if you roll a sign that's like you're angry by nature, your character might be really angry.
Maybe he's a barbarian.
Exactly. And that's what it says down here. When 2 signs, let alone all 3, come up the same, their meanings are more strongly expressed. A double Taurus, for example, is especially stubborn. So there you go. And there's really cool little breakdown of all the ones. There's like Aries, there's a full little page in here for each of the different signs, all the way to the back. And then there's elements. This is really cool. This is stuff I was completely unaware of. The 4 astrological elements are fire, air, water, earth. If you find or fire, air, earth, and water. Sorry. If you find more than one of the same element in your 3 rolls, you can assign a bit more of the element's personality to your character. And there's even personalities based on elements. There's also qualities of the signs. Signs are assigned to 3 qualities. There's one of each quality in each element. If you find more than one of the same quality in your 3 rolls, you can assign a bit more of that quality's personality. So there's cardinal. The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. These are signs that begin the seasons. They indicate people are planners and leaders. So there's like cardinal, fixed.
So there's groupings within the signs that can also enhance and certain aspects of stuff.
Yeah, so within the signs, there's elements, there's qualities, there's even metals. The ancients knew 6 metals. Each pertains to 2 signs. This may be completely literal, as when gold calls to Leo, it may be metaphorical too. And it can lead to an affinity between signs which have the same metal, which the metals are actually, I believe shown in here, maybe?
In the individual.
Yes. So there's a little thing at the top. There's element, color, there's metal, and there's vulnerability.
So there's a lot of elements to work with.
Yes.
In each of these things, and some of this probably isn't new to people who do follow astrology.
Yes, exactly. And this could say there's literal vulnerabilities like on their body that could affect them. So it's like maybe they're more weak in the hips or the spine. It's very interesting. So yeah, let's jump in. Let's try to make some characters here.
Let's get a shot of that die first. Let's go to the overhead and take a closer look at the actual die.
So we've got a lot of the symbols, and these actually match the symbols in the book as well. You'll notice the different. They're very vibrant, very easy to read. It's a very chunky die, so for scale purposes, this is what it looks like in my hand. It's probably about the same size as the Zombie Dice 3 school bus, I want to say. In that zone, it's pretty large.
Yeah, it might be a little bigger.
Yeah, it might. I think it's about the same size. Cthulhu die size, maybe. Probably a little bigger than that.
A little bigger than Cthulhu.
So yeah, got all the different symbols on there. Again, very cool. I love the Gemini side. Scorpio looks cool. So yeah, let's begin. Would you like to start, Jimmy? We'll roll some stuff I can read from the book and give you see what the options are.
All right, so let's start with our melee character.
Okay, so let's not name him first. Let's kind of let the character.
He's melee.
Right now he's melee. So let's roll for your sun sign.
All right, so his sun sign for the melee character is. Looks like Aquarius.
Let me pull that up here. I want to say it's Aquarius.
Water bearer.
It's not Sagittarius. Yeah, it should be Aquarius. Yep, Aquarius the water bearer. Those born, we know this will be January 21st to February 19th. So Aquarius, you guys just passed. For Aquarius, creativity curiosity, broad-mindedness, and unpredictability characterize the sign of the water bearer. An Aquarian will seem to be analyzing everyone they meet. It's not sinister or sudden crush. It's just curiosity. This sounds. Are you an Aquarius? No.
Not.
Hey, there we go. Traditions, even laws, have little interest to the Aquarian. They're looking for a new way, be it to boil eggs or to choose their leaders. So that's your general idea. So we got some stuff to keep in mind. Your element's air. Your color's bright blue. And we're just writing stuff down, but this stuff's all in the book generally. Metal is lead, and your vulnerability is the heart, which is turns out it's pretty common vulnerability, I'd say.
Vampires, all that sort of thing.
Yeah. So with those, so the first section's kind of like your general one. The second one it's specifically moon, but when you roll that first die, it kind of all applies to you, and then the moon kind of like
maybe a lesser aspect.
Exactly. So.
All right, so we want to roll the moon one next.
Actually, let's read what you got moon in Aquarius first, just to have an idea.
Okay.
You're broad-minded. But you're often slow to make a final decision. Though once set on a course, they can be as stubborn as a Taurus. So essentially, you got a lot of options, but you might not necessarily know which way you want to go. But then when you make a decision, you're just stuck on that.
There it is, made.
But you won't necessarily rush into battle for causes. You're not, as a rule, violent, and those in the violent trades may seem a step removed from the work they're doing. Aquarius dislikes a flat lie, but will mislead you and nod in all the right places to leave you with the wrong impression. Bonus to mislead. They are slow to reveal their true feelings. Kind of sneaky, it sounds like, to a degree.
Could be.
Yeah. You could be a little sneaky. And then ascending, Aquarians secretly fear they are becoming predictable and respond by doing something especially random. So this character's just like off the wall. It's like really interesting, almost roguish in a world where it keeps her own station. So yeah, let's roll for the moon symbol.
All right, what do we got for moon?
Gemini.
No, that's Pisces.
Oh, that's Pisces. I'm sorry. I said Gemini for that before too. I don't know why I said that.
You just want it to be.
I want it to be Gemini. It's because it's got two. Sorry about that. Pisces, the fishes. Interesting. So we actually have your first thing. You have the same element twice. So that's interesting. This is both water.
Well, the Aquarius you said it was air. Huh?
Oh, was it air?
Which seems weird, but.
Oh, it did say air. Yeah, you're right. I guess it is air. Oh, there you go. Never mind. I just assumed it was.
Yeah.
So actually, Pisces is who we're in now. That's our current sign. I'm bad with this stuff. I know Sagittarius, and that's about it because I'm a Sagittarius. So this one is just the moon. A Pisces has an active mind and can see more sides to a situation. Okay, this character is actually already becoming a little more fleshed out. And if you ever want to give a character two completely contradictory traits, the moon and Pisces can justify it. Pisces has seen an unfair share of hardships and has been toughened by them. Okay, that's cool. So that's your moon for this character. And we will do one more roll here for your ascending or ascendant.
And Pisces was
water.
It
was
and
water. Tin for the metal, pale blue-green for the color. I don't think that said anything about color in here, but it's something to keep in mind. And your vulnerability is liver.
Okay.
And what's the last one here? What's your ascendant?
The ascendant sign for this character is going to be...
That's Aries.
It's Aries.
So Aries, so this is just ascendants. Arians are sensitive to extreme physical pain, so they wouldn't be able to necessarily resist torture or something like that. And their inner wish is to be accepted and preferably loved. They love a challenge. This one's got, again, different element. We got fire on this one. Iron on the metal. And vulnerability head. Okay, so again, those elements can do a little bit more.
We didn't double up on any elements or vulnerabilities.
They can just add a little bit more if you want to, but I think we have a lot of stuff here with just.
So let's look at them on the primary one. What's air? Let's say on our mains.
So air is the air signs are Gemini, Libra, of course, active. full of motion, active, full of motion, unpredictable. Air people get things done, if perhaps not the way you expected. Now you also got fire, which is they're dynamic and passionate, necessary for creation. Water is emotional and often intuitive, creative, and expressive. I feel like those kind of go together to a degree. They all kind of complement each other to some degree. You're also, let's see, you were Aries. What were you again? Aries.
It's Aquarius, Pisces, Aries.
Okay.
Or what are you looking at? The
Cardinal fixed. You're actually all three cardinal fixed and mutable, so that's not really a ton of craziness there. Yeah. Yeah, so and then the vulnerabilities aren't necessarily like those are weak on you, but it might be where things might strike
right.
to give you a little extra. So based on all that, you got a lot of stuff there.
Okay. So we got a lot of stuff written down to work with, but so one thing that I saw came up a fair bit was you had so the sun side, the primary sign, had Aquarius being unpredictable, doesn't like to stick to traditional laws, is always looking for new things. They're analytical, they're curious. And then you had the moon has the Pisces has the active mind on it and sees more sides. That plays into the analytical parts of it. And then the ascendant, that's the emotional, and then the inner nature is Aries. They're sensitive to pain, so he doesn't seem like someone who wants to be like in front tanking or something.
No.
They want to be accepted. They love a challenge. So he's curious. He's analytical. Loves a challenge. This seems like it may be sort of a more tactical or precise kind of fighter, rather than someone who's just getting out there, taking the hits and beating on stuff. Wants to be unpredictable with how he's approaching things. So maybe this is a harrier or a swashbuckler or somebody who like hits and runs or hits and moves, or
someone that's maybe not using a broadsword but maybe using a rapier. Or
maybe using a rapier or something like that, or something lighter,
stabby more than
and can
bashy.
Probably have more movement because they want to be unpredictable as opposed to just standing there and going toe to toe and beating.
And you don't have to use every single element of all this, but so
no, I mean there's a lot.
It gives you a lot, yeah.
But that was a commonality I saw. Like, all right, those things kind of play into that archetype. So that could build. That can say, all right, this is kind of what I'm going to build then.
Okay, let's build the archetype out then. So pick some of the stuff that you want to use for each of these, kind of the idea of your character. And then we'll kind of like set that. We'll kind of make that how we make these characters. We'll have like a general like summary of how we do the character at the bottom.
All right. So he's unpredictable, likes to analyze, likes a challenge.
Could be a duelist even. It seems like, because it's like they're very tactically minded. They're wanting to challenge people,
Yeah.
But they're not going to just jump into something out of pure passion.
And then, because you can see more sides, yeah. So I think we're going to kind of play on those, and the sensitive to extreme pain thing. So that's part of the not wanting to stand toe to toe, in a big lethal fight sort of thing. Motion and unpredictable we're going to lean into that really heavy on the air stuff.
Okay.
So I think we're looking for someone who's we're going to go with mobile and unpredictable.
Okay.
And maybe he doesn't want to use traditional tactics all the time. Part of the playing into the unpredictability.
Okay.
So his I'm not sure how that's exactly going to translate into the abilities and stuff, but probably that's something I'll look into when we
that
start
could be
looking
a
at the
role
list.
playing aspect to it too. Some of the stuff isn't going to necessarily be. Again, we're not statting the characters; we're just kind of coming up with their background.
Yeah, the concept
and
of the
how
character.
and how you want to actually play the character, not necessarily because we're going to be able to role play this out a bit. I mean, I will say Death Test is a little more linear in the sense that we are using rules and battling on a hex grid,
right?
But there's role play to it. How you want to attack, how you want to move in, how you want to engage enemies.
Right.
So.
Like he's not a tanky / frontliner.
Exactly.
because he doesn't want to get beat on there.
Yes.
And he's tactical. He likes to analyze the situation.
Okay, cool.
So I think that's what we're going to go with for the kind of overriding bits of how it relates to how he's going to approach the combat aspect of the game.
So I'm not going to make you come up with a name because you just said names are tough
Names
for
are
you.
tough, yeah.
But can we give him like what can we say, since we got like a general idea? Like, do you think you can come up with like a basic background for him, like what he is, maybe what he does as a job, or what he does as like what kind of a fighter are we looking at
Right.
here?
Since we're doing this in the kind of world of the fantasy trip or
Sure.
fantasy melee stuff.
And again, I want to reiterate, we're doing it in here. But
Yeah, those
you can do
entirely
this,
system independent.
exactly.
Yeah.
You can play this in GURPS. You can play this in Dungeon Fantasy. You can play this in Dungeons and Dragons. You can do it in Pathfinder, Starfinder, Star Wars, whatever you want to do.
Cyberpunk, whatever.
Cyberpunk, exactly. I'm gonna name every RPG.
Just you work on that, and then
Morkborg, you got it.
Yep. All right, so basically, he seems kind of like let's see, what does he want out of things? He wants to be accepted. He's seen hardships and gotten through tough times. So
is this a military person, maybe, or is this? Maybe...
I'm wondering if he's because duelist doesn't seem quite the kind of thing.
Yeah, I think based on that one, it felt like it. But the rest of the stuff, maybe he wants to avoid conflict. He maybe isn't a duelist.
Right, like he likes a challenge, but like winning is not necessarily the thing. He wants to be accepted. So I'm thinking I'm maybe leaning into this hardships and gotten through tough times, and still not wanting to be in pain. Is like maybe this guy is a highwayman or a bandit of some sort.
Okay.
Like he's or maybe your Robin Hood kind of type. Like
sure.
Someone who is been down, is trying to get out of it.
He's not coming from the top. He's coming from the bottom.
He's coming from the bottom. He's still trying to make his way back up. So maybe that's why he's doing adventuring and dungeoneering and stuff. But he's
in it kind of for glory, but he's more in it for like being back to where he wants.
Get back to where he can be, that person who can
cool.
Find people and be accepted and stuff. And being down hasn't let him do that. So,
I like how let's write it down and just have that as part of a potential option.
Maybe recovering brigand.
Sure, that's a great one. I like it. Cool. So we got your melee character essentially. Again, we won't come up with the names today, but hopefully next time we'll have.
Yeah.
In the interim, we'll come up with some extra stuff and stat it out and stuff. It's really not too hard to stat out a fantasy trip / wizard character, so it'll be pretty something we could do on our in between.
All right, so your turn to
let's roll it out. So I'll do melee as well. We'll just go melee and then wizard. And let's roll it. Okay, come on, Sagittarius, we got this.
We're gonna go to the chat real quick and see what we got.
Sure, yeah.
Just the commentary that's coming through. Extreme and sudden pain, but doubles down defense on the slow applied torture. Is defensive. Merwin the Meek.
Hey, we got some name suggestions. There you go.
Yep. All right, so what's your sun sign, Hunter?
Hey, Sagittarius.
Sagittarius, you finally got it. Yes. You finally got it.
One roll, we're in. Got my sign.
All right, Sagittarius the archer. So your element is fire. The color is purple.
My favorite color. I didn't know my color is actually purple. It's my favorite color.
The metal is tin, and the vulnerability is your hips.
And my favorite. And I have a hit pointer? Heck yeah. I now believe in astrology.
All right. So Sagittarius, the centaur archer, rules those born from November 23rd to December 21st. Indicates an exuberant merrymaker, often the clown of the group.
Oh, yeah.
Likely to enjoy a bit of gambling now and then. And will never turn down good food and drink.
Yeah.
If you want to find a Sagittarius, look no further than the tavern. Some of the partiers you find maybe from far away. Sagittarius usually loves to travel.
Wow.
You're a dreamer, but one who can give logical reasons for everything. You might have a good memory, though sometimes it's limited to odd details.
Oh man, holy crap! I legitimately didn't believe in astronomy until right now. Astrology. I didn't believe in astronomy either. Stars aren't real. No, but that's creepy. Because I do know a lot of weird facts about 80s toys.
All right, so the moons, that was all the primary
That was the primary sign, yeah.
The moon stuff, Sagittarius is a terrible liar. You might try, but you're just bad at it.
Sure. Maybe not.
So like that might indicate a penalty to deception on stuff.
Sure, yeah.
You love animals, bonuses to interactions from animals perhaps, and you're generally curious.
Okay.
And for the ascending, inside every Sagittarius is an idealist, though often hidden deep. Also, a threat of explosive temper that may break free if the clown is pushed too far.
Interesting. Okay. I am the clown Fogwatch. Doctor, I am Fogwatch.
All right, so there's your sun
So
sign.
that's our
What's your
sun.
moon sign?
Moon sign
This
is
for the
Taurus.
emotions. Taurus on the emotions.
That's cool. We're getting different ones.
All right. So Taurus, the element's earth. The color is blue. Metal is copper.
Yep.
And the vulnerability is your throat and back.
Yeah, I mean that seems like throat seems like it'd be a thing,
Yeah.
and I do have a bad back, so there we go.
All right, so the moon for Taurus. Those with their moon in the bull tend to be generous, not just to friends, but to strangers, and like Aries, will react well to appeals for help.
Okay.
But note that Taurus is very careful with money.
Careful with money.
So you're generous, but maybe not necessarily with money the whole. You might be more cautious if it's money on the line.
I'm generous with hugs.
There you
Got
go.
lots of hugs for everybody.
So there's your
And we'll do the
moon.
ascendant.
The ascendant is
What's the name of that one?
that Capricorn?
That's Capricorn. Yeah, that's got to be Capricorn.
Yep, Capricorn, the sea goat. So your element is earth, so it's a second earth for you,
Ooh,
right?
okay, that'll actually tie in.
Color black and dark blue.
Ooh, there's another blue.
Metal is lead,
Okay, first lead.
and vulnerability is skin.
Okay, well that's
Kinda large
that's
one.
rough stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Ooh,
That
that's a
could
good
be. That could be,
interpretation.
yeah,
I like that.
I like that. You know, if you didn't hear off camera, Brandon said maybe he's thin-skinned.
I like that. Which actually makes sense for this character.
Yep. So your Capricorn ascending. Capricorn will always have a secret interest in self-improvement, whether it's learning the guitar or becoming the next Duke.
Okay. Cool. Is that the only one for that, really?
That's the ascendant part of it.
Ascendant's usually the shortest one, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that's your inner.
So
nature.
could you tell me what Earth is? Because I kind of
Earth.
want to know that.
Yeah, because you got double down on
Double Earth,
Earth,
so I
right?
might as well see what that is.
So the Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. They are forces of stability, practicality, and loyalty.
So I would say, like, I feel like this is all definitely putting me towards like kind of a merrymaker mirth type of guy. Like this feels like a guy who likes to have fun, who's trying to, who's definitely in it for maybe money and the adventure and the excitement of things versus the glory necessarily. I'm not it. Whereas your character is more in it for like, a challenge. I may not be in it for a challenge. I may be in it for like, let's have fun. Let's do it.
Right.
And if things aren't fun, then maybe I'm not having fun.
Right.
That may be where the temper stuff comes in. Stability. What was the last thing on Earth? Sorry.
Loyalty.
Loyalty. Loyalty, I think, is the one that probably would actually go in the most because it seems like I enjoy being generous. So I would probably want to have friends and things like that and be like, I'm not necessarily hurting for friends. I'm more like wanting to help people.
Yeah, well, because one of them was the you're generous to everybody, not necessarily more cautious about money.
Yeah.
But you're generous, so you may be let's do this thing.
But like merrymaking, gambling, food, drink, tavern. This guy wants to get out and about. He's not trying to get. He's not going on the death test adventure because it's called the death test.
Right.
He's not like I want to die. He's like, this sounds like a blast. Let's go. Let's do it. So yeah, let's say he's a party guy. Michelangelo, the party guy. No, he's a party guy. He wants to get down. He likes he gets his money, and he's generous, but he's not necessarily going to like make everyone rich. He's gonna throw parties for people. He's gonna like he'll buy you around. He's not gonna hand you the money to buy a drink. He's gonna initiate things to get people excited but he wants to be popular. This guy wants to be popular with people because that's the way he knows how to be cool. He's trying to be cool, essentially. This is an interesting type of character. Since we doubled down on Earth, we're definitely going to take some of that. I don't feel like he's going to be particularly stable. Or he might be predictable, but in a negative way. Like it's like he's going to take the option that gives him the cool option essentially, which may not be the best option.
Right. Well, and the bad liar can also fall under the predictable thing.
For sure.
Like he can say, no, that's not what's going to happen.
He definitely is gonna. He's definitely a bad liar. Like we got to be terrible liar. That's just a funny aspect. We're definitely going terrible liar. The loves to draw pretty much all the first part of Sagittarius. That's like this guy. This dude is super into like gambling. He's a hedonist.
Like you found him at the tavern. This adventurer was definitely found at the tavern.
Yes. Generous, careful with money. So I don't want to make him a miser, but I do want to make him protective of like treasure and stuff like that, and kind of greedy to a degree. Not in the sense that he's like trying to steal stuff from people, but in the sense that like if
he always needs more.
Yeah, and if there's treasure available, he's definitely trying to angle to get it. So I don't see this guy as like very roguish or very like in your case, your guy's not a rogue, but your guy's more of a I'm gonna strike and dodge and dip and dive kind of stuff. Right. This dude wants to be seen. He's not trying to hide. He's not necessarily trying to die, but he thinks he looks cool. This guy's got golden equipment. He's got like gilded stuff.
He's flashy.
Yeah, this dude comes if he could have a wine goblet while he's fighting, like in one hand and like a big sword in the other one, he'd be doing it. So this guy, I think this dude's the golden god essentially, but not a literal god of fighting like he thinks he is. He's out there to have fun. He's out there to be seen. He's out there to party. So we're gonna say this dude's a what's a good like type of job for this kind of guy. He wouldn't have a government job because he's like a gambler. He's like dude. I think this dude's kind of like not even a job. This dude doesn't have a job. This dude's inherited money throughout his life, and he's used his inheritance for adventure. He's actually his parents have probably pissed off at him, or dead now.
Because he's not taking up the mantle of whatever he was supposed to.
He's in a merchant family. So this dude was in a merchant family. Probably a guy that you probably robbed at one point in your life. And is essentially he's a merchant. His family's a merchant. Has amassed wealth. He inherited that wealth, and instead of continuing being a merchant, he's off jet setting essentially in a fantasy terms. He's
your fantasy equivalent of the rich party boy.
Exactly. He's the rich party boy, except he's got a sword. And we're gonna try to make him as formidable as we can.
He's actually learned to use it so he can look cool.
Yeah, he's not hopeless. Is the thing. He actually has adventured. We're not gonna make him completely useless, but he wants to. He's out there to have fun.
Right.
And he may be in over his head. You never know, because he's obviously willing to go into fights where he doesn't necessarily know if he's the best. He's just wanting to experience it.
So you think the most common lie he tells is I can handle that?
Probably.
Whether it's a fight, the next drink, or whatever.
We'll handle this. It's all good, and that is probably never going to be the case. Yeah, I like this
sometimes
guy.
The case, but
this is cool. This is definitely This is a character like I feel like I've thought about this type of character, but never actually played one to this degree. I'm more used to playing the sneaky dudes and stuff like that, or the really mellow, chill like dudes that are like super laid back. This dude's laid back, but in a different way. Oh, that's cool. So that's our melee character. So let's flip it. We'll do wizards next.
All right, you want to start with the wizard?
I'll start with the wizard. Sure. Let's check chat just in case.
Oh, sure. Let's see. So, comments on yours. Gambler Karthus, lend me a farthing, brother. Doesn't need your money, just likes to see if you'll loan some.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
Sloppy swordplay to raise ire.
He definitely isn't against taking money from people.
Right. That's what we got so far.
Cool. Yeah, I'll jump into mine then. Let's roll off for.
Right, so a wizard.
Okay, so this is my wizard. This one I'm a little more worried about because I can do a gilded dude, but let's see. We got Scorpio. That's a new one for us.
All right, Scorpio the Scorpion. The element is water. Color is deep red. The metal is iron. And the vulnerability is the spine.
Also bad. Okay.
All right, so Scorpio is the sign of those born from October 24th to November 22nd. The key to Scorpio is indomitable will.
Ooh, interesting.
With great physical bravery and intense curiosity, Scorpios make good warriors, doctors, and scholars, and exemplary explorers.
Brave, curious. Okay.
Willful, brave, curious.
So you're a scholar. Is the scholar on there?
They make good warriors, doctors, scholars, and explorers.
Cool.
They seek difficulty and danger in order to test themselves.
Oh no.
They are intense and passionate, both in love and hatred. Typical Scorpio will be a protector of children and the weak, though a bad Scorpio may make the weak his chosen prey.
Ooh.
Uh,
Could be a protector or a. Okay, cool.
Scorpio is always empathetic, but not always sympathetic. So they can feel for you, but they may not care.
Okay.
All right, so that's the primary. So the moon part of Scorpio.
Oh wait, no, we're. Oh yeah, no, yeah, we get all of it.
Yeah. Scorpios may merely be self-possessed, or they may be monsters of ego. Either way, it'll be difficult to read emotions from the Scorpio's face, but they tend to speak the truth if asked. Unless they're serving a significantly higher goal, they won't even try to lie to you. It's the truth or nothing. And the ascending part of Scorpio, there's ambition within and a cool sense of superiority. Friends are never forgotten, and a kindness may be returned ninefold. But enemies are remembered as well, forever and to their sorrow.
Rewarded, enemies punished. Okay. That's a lot.
So very earnest.
Earnest to a degree. It's almost like they're truthful about how much they don't like you.
Yeah. The person is like, oh no, I'm blunt.
Yes. That sounds like what this is.
All right, so moon sign is Cancer.
Getting all sorts of new stuff today.
Getting all sorts of pinchers on everything, apparently.
Yeah, this dude's gonna have. That's actually just gonna be part of the character. He has claws.
All right, Cancer the crab. The element is water.
Uh-oh.
So double down on water. Color is pale green or pearl. Metal is gold.
Okay.
And vulnerability is chest.
Cool.
All right, typical Cancer is imaginative, sensitive, and expressive.
And this is just the ascendant.
Oh, sorry, just the moon part. Cancer will show forethought and will have strong protective instincts, both for themselves and for those they're loyal to.
Okay.
They're usually home-loving and rarely feel they are completely prepared for life. Still, they keep trying.
Home-loving. So this is the opposite. This person does not want to travel. Ill-prepared for life.
Feel ill-prepared for life, but they keep trying. So that's your moon.
Me too. Okay, that's my moon.
So your ascendant is next.
Ascendant is
Leo.
Leo. All new stuff. Okay, cool.
Leo.
Also, if you're interested in this dice tray that we keep showing off, these are also on Warehouse 23. Yep. Show those off in our dice stream.
There it is. I'm looking around. It's on the next page. Element is fire.
Okay.
Color is yellow.
Okay.
Metal is gold.
Two golds.
Two golds.
Okay.
And vulnerability is legs.
All right.
All right. So Leo ascending. Leos are nobility at heart. They want to be in charge. They secretly think they deserve it.
Interesting.
Leo wants your admiration and usually makes an effort to deserve it. Bonus reactions to strangers. So you think you deserve to be in... Leo's ascendings think they deserve to be in charge, that they're nobles, that they are...
Yeah.
Inherent...
And want to earn it, though, too.
They make an effort to earn it.
Make effort.
They believe they deserve it, but they make an effort to earn it.
And what was the last thing?
It was like a suggestion of bonus reactions to strangers.
Yeah, I got you. Let's take a look at water and gold.
Yeah, because you doubled up on both of those.
Yeah, doubled up on two things.
All right, so water. The water signs are emotional and often intuitive, creative, and expressive.
Okay. And gold?
Gold is metals. Oh, those are just
those are
affinities between signs that share the same metal.
Got you. Well, okay, so I'm actually going to tie a couple things. There's a lot of interesting stuff on this, actually. I think the Leo and the Scorpio tie in pretty well together, too.
So Leo and Scorpio are both fixed qualities.
Interesting.
So you double up on that. They indicate they're middle-of-season people. They indicate people who are the backbone of an effort and carry it through. They're strong supporters.
Interesting. Okay. So this ties in. I think a lot of this stuff ties in really well with a really cool wizard character that's not necessarily like a good guy necessarily. We've got because like so in Leo we're talking about this person wants to be in charge. They think they deserve greatness, essentially. Over here, they have ambition. They feel superior to people. So this person thinks that they're, you know, they are better than some.
I control the energies of the universe.
Yeah,
Clearly.
this wizard is intelligent and they know it. And they think they may even be more intelligent than they are. They may be that intelligent, we don't know. Feels empathy, not sympathy. This person is not gonna this is I'm not saying this is an unfeeling person completely, but this person will do what they need to do to be in charge of stuff. They do want to earn it. They're not trying to hurt people necessarily, but this person wants to be in charge. They're going to try to lead the party. They're going to try to lead where the group is. They're trying to run the mission. They're essentially trying to be in charge of all this. Scholar, obviously they're a wizard. They're pretty learned. Indomitable will. So okay. So I think I'm getting an idea. They seek danger. That's an interesting one. I think obviously curious. I think indomitable will. They are brave. This person, but I think that ties into their superiority. They think they're better, so they don't think they're just better than the people they're fighting with. They think they're better than the people they are fighting. They deserve to dominate whatever that is. So this is a very. I think this person is. They're not necessarily cocky in the degree of like someone who's being brash, but they're cocky in the sense that they are going to win. They think that they're going in and fighting. But there are a couple things in here. They are protecting the weak. They're not going to... I don't think this person's going to necessarily... They could go after the weak, but I feel like with the Leo stuff, that this person thinks that they're doing the right thing, generally. So they're not going to just outright try to... they're not going to kill like a guy for being homeless or something like that. They're not trying to go out there and do that. Nobility and stuff like that. They think that... They definitely think they're superior, but they're not like... a murderer necessarily. Self-possessed though. This person's. I feel like this person has a lot of vanity regarding that stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I think the not only the Leo but the empathy not sympathy part can lead into that. Okay, yeah, he's homeless. I'm clearly better than him. I can feel how that sucks.
Exactly.
I'm going to make this place better.
This person's introverted, but if you make an effort with them, you can definitely become their friend, I feel like. Now, let's try to integrate this stuff up here. Protective of friends, so that can go into there. That's the Cancer stuff. And that's kind of goes along with over here with kindness rewarded to a degree. Ill-prepared for life, that's probably goes into the introvertedness. Maybe they don't want to expose themselves to what's out there necessarily. I think, and I'm going to use this in a weird way, the gold part. I think this is an alchemist. This is someone that has spent a lot of time studying and is trying to do, not necessarily to be rich, but they're trying to do this to like equal the playing field. But at the same time, they've spent so much time learning. They're like the only wizard in their town. And they know that they're essentially a big fish in a small pond, and they've been that way for a long time, to the point where they know that they're very smart, that they can do this stuff. And
he's been the smartest person in the room for a very long time.
Yes, and every time someone comes to their town to fight or to do anything, they just don't last there because he knows what he's doing.
Or they're coming there looking for him because he can do stuff. They're actually seeking this place out because of him, which makes him feel like he leads the place or should be leading the place.
Exactly.
Because everyone who matters who comes there is coming there for him.
Yeah, and yet there's still people in town that don't have any money. So if he transmutes, if he can transmute this, then there's pure equality there. But he's still mechanical. He's very on his own. He's isolated, so he doesn't have a lot of the same charms as you would as someone who's out in society. He's in a tower, literally trying to turn lead into gold. So, and along the way, learning a lot of different magic. So, yeah, I like this. I like that. That makes a lot of sense for this person. This is my. He won't necessarily we won't necessarily stat out alchemical stuff. That's just what he specializes in.
So is there enough in here that what in here is going to make him leave that tower to go on the death test?
That's true. That's a fair point.
because whenever you're making a character, you have to like, all right, that's great, that's a good story. Will he join the campaign? Will he join?
Yeah.
Would he join the party?
I think for the case of this, if there's since he's trying to transmute gold, and it's so far it hasn't worked. He's not actually he's able to do he's able to do a lot of spells, but he hasn't able to actually do his main task. And the death test promises rewards and riches and stuff like that. So in the meantime, this will fund his research. This will keep the town kind of going. He's not the mayor here, but he's kind of keeping it going himself. So it's not necessarily for him. It's for where he lives. Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. That's where I'm going with that. That's what we'll say for that one. That's my wizard. So I've got two kind of gold themed guys, but instead of being one is a little more of a party animal, and the other one's a little bit more of the introverted person at the party.
Right. The guy who doesn't really want to be there, but...
Exactly. And we'll do your wizard. I like this little booklet. There's a lot of information in here in such a short little thing.
Yeah, and it lets you, it gives you a lot of jumping off points to be like, all right, pick those 3 or 4 things, go together. Let's kind of tie that into the core personality, and then
exactly
add this, that, and the other. All right, so my wizard sun sign will be
Scorpio. Which is that was the one I just got, right?
Yeah.
That was it. So I guess we'll keep that going. So just to reiterate what we had there.
Yeah.
So it's water. The color is deep red. The metal is iron. And the vulnerability is the spine. I'll kind of just go through the big hits here. Your indomitable will. Physical bravery and intense curiosity. They make good warriors, doctors, and scholars. Now, that's interesting. I went with scholars, but there's also doctors in there. That's cool. And exemplary explorers, sorry.
Physical bravery and curiosity, you said, yeah.
And explorers, that's something pretty cool. Seek difficulty and dangers in order to test themselves. Actually, that could be a reason that my guy's also going in there trying to test himself. I missed that. Intense and passionate in both love and hatred. I like that. Scorpio is a protector of children and the weak, but a bad one may make the weak his chosen prey. Always empathetic, but not always sympathetic. They could be self-possessed, or they may be monsters of ego. That's kind of what I think that was what I was focused on a lot on there. To read emotions, they're be difficult to read emotions, but they tend to speak truth fast. Unless they're serving someone else or a higher goal, they won't even try to lie to you. The truth or nothing. Ambition within, cool sense of superiority. Friends are never forgotten, and kindness may be returned ninefold, but enemies are remembered as well, forever and to their sorrow. Feels like one of the more detailed ones in here too. There's a lot going on there.
All right.
Okay, roll it up.
Let's do the moon.
Moon.
Scorpio.
Oh, that's interesting. So let's actually check something real quick. I want to double check what it says there, because I think it just means that this will be the first one where when 2 signs alone, all 3 comes in. Means are more intensely expressed. So let's see what the moon on Scorpio specifically says.
Where did that part start?
So this is self-possessed or monsters of ego.
Right.
Difficult to read emotions, but they tend to speak the truth. So it ends with it's the truth or nothing.
Okay. So that's
pretty much all about
moon
truth
again.
and okay, cool. That's
Got
the truth.
it.
And let's roll again. If you roll it the 3rd time, then we're
is that
Taurus. So that one is blue. I forgot Earth. Sorry, Earth blue, copper, and your vulnerability is throat and back. And the ascending for that is look for an inner need for security and companionship. A rising Taurus makes a person more reserved and less impulsive. A Taurus ascendant can even lead to passivity, but there is always a chance of the final bull explosion.
What was the middle one? After the need for security and companionship?
Sorry. Rising. Oh, a rising Taurus makes a person more reserved and less impulsive.
All right, so we have, and then
Did you have anything shared?
what's water? Yeah, we got water doubled up on
Water
sun and
doubled
moon.
up. Emotional and intuitive, creative and expressive.
All right, so this wizard, he's
Oh,
so,
technically, I should mention this. You on the qualities of signs.
right.
All three of you are in fixed.
All right, so what is fixed?
They fall in the middle of the seasons. They indicate the people who are the backbone of an effort and carry it through. They are strong supporters. So you were kind of what that last one was, but double because it's Scorpio, and Taurus. So you're not that doesn't necessarily make you good. It just makes you important.
A key player. So we're doubled up on that. We're doubled up on this, and we're doubled up on that.
So this is our first one where we doubled up on so much stuff. I feel like.
Yeah. So
and especially
is,
the main sign and the moon sign. That's a big one.
Yeah. So he's very much going to fall into a lot of these things. So, creative, expressive, emotional, intuitive. He's a supporter. Self-possessed. Maybe an ego monster. Speaks truth. And hard to read his emotions.
So I feel like mine feels a little bit more like an introverted, like kind of a. I have a positive streak in me, but I'm definitely like I feel like I'm superior. It looks like you might actively be a bad
guy. It could go that way.
Almost.
It could go that way. But the thing that I think feels like maybe it tempers it. I'm going to look at some of the other stuff. Is this the triple fix, the backbone of an effort and a supporter. And the ascendant is less impulsive and more reserved, and needs people. So, what do we have? So the will, physical bravery, curiosity, explorer. So he's very much. He's good at what he does and knows it. I think that's going to be a common theme with these two characters.
Yeah, I feel like we're rivals. We are definitely rivals within this faction. So
they're both a protector of weak. He's got, what we got? Earth.
And remember, you don't have to use every single one of these. So
yeah, no, I'm looking for jumping points through this.
Sure.
Inner need for security and companionship. That's his curiosity. I'm trying to dial this guy in. I almost feel like
you could go with one of the alternate things. So it could be that he's not a he's like I made mine more of a scholar. Not that your guy isn't smart, but you could there's also explorer, doctor.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'm feeling maybe the whole like the self-possessed supporter character is kind of what I'm thinking too. Like he's not the lead. Like your guy wants to lead the party. He wants to be in charge. This guy doesn't have anything that says I need to be in charge.
No, that's true.
He actually probably isn't, but he is definitely sure he needs to be there.
Sure.
Which leads to maybe he's the healer of the group.
Yeah,
maybe he's a cleric.
He could be a doctor.
Like
that could be something.
He could be some sort of he's some sort of. He feels like he's a key player in the group, no matter what he does. So if we're looking at the magic aspect of things,
yeah.
Like if I wasn't here, you'd all be dead.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Respect me. I don't need to necessarily be the leader, but I want to be respected for this.
Exactly. Yeah. I still demand respect and acknowledgement of stuff. So I think maybe he's someone who focuses on healing or protective magic.
Plague doctor. Plague doctor.
It's either healing or protective magic. Something that is vitally important and makes him key to whatever thing he's doing. And I think he's probably going to feel between the explorer part and the inner need for was it companionship and security.
Oh, that would make sense why for someone so egotistical to want to actually be in a party.
Right. He likes to like he has the exploration. He seeks the difficulty. Right.
Sure. This person looks for an adventure. Okay.
He's looking for adventure, but also part of it is to fill a need of he needs people.
He's looking for an adventure party.
Yeah,
not necessarily the adventure itself.
He's not the introvert your guy is. He's a people person, and the way he's managed to do that through his life is he's become very good at protecting people, and demanding respect for doing that. Like yes. So I don't know if I'll figure out mechanically when we go to the game whether it's protective magics or healing magics, but I feel like it's something along those lines where he is very much what you consider the support role in the party, but a key to keeping the party alive, and he uses that as his selling point to go out and explore and find new companions and stuff, and hopefully keep them alive.
Nice.
And that's his seeking difficulty and danger is, all right, all these idiots with swords going out charging after God knows what. Let's see if I can get them back home or not.
That's interesting. I think we got, so I have a pretty introverted wizard and I think a pretty extroverted melee. You have kind of like the extroverted wizard and the more introverted melee guy. He's like trying to hide a little bit more, be a little more low key than this guy. It's interesting. Yeah. Kind of like inverted, even though I find it very interesting that you came up with like a completely like, you're an extroverted doctor that's trying to heal people, and I'm like an introverted, like kind of a miser that's trying to.
But you're an introverted person who feels like he needs to run the whole thing.
Yeah, who's trying to lead everything. Who's like, he wants people to listen to him, but he doesn't want to like work with people. He wants people to just like, I'm in charge. I
know the right thing to do. Go do this.
Yeah, but the thing is, we came up with so many similar signs. We were able to just use them in different ways. Yours doubled up and kind of focused you on that certain spot.
Yeah, and I think the ascendant, and the fixed thing. I think both of those things are what took this guy in a very different direction, since he doubled down on the key part.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, these will be kind of like our baseline characters for. We'll stat these up and try to run some fantasy trip melee / wizard with death test. We don't need a DM for that. The game kind of runs it for us, and then we'll just run. We'll either run multiple characters or figure it out. We'll figure it out. You'll see some fantasy trip on the channel pretty soon. I'm really glad I got to do this. I hope you guys can kind of see how the Zodiac Die is really useful. This is actually available now. It's a pretty new release. I feel like it kind of flew under the radar for a lot of people. This came out in the last month or two.
Yeah,
but it's a really cool tool.
It was a cool tool. It gave us, like, in our stream here of almost an hour, we created 4 personalities that are independent of system. Really, we can go.
Theoretically, we're doing these for the fantasy trip, but I could have made this. This could have been a space swashbuckler, or this could have been an engineer or something on a spaceship or something like that.
And the characters we come up with for this are for any fantasy system they would apply.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, this thing is $12.95. It's on Warehouse 23 now. It's also available at your local game store. Really cool die. Again, you can find tons of uses for this outside of this. The booklet itself focuses on RPGs, but again, if you have something else that uses personalities of some sort, or you just want if you like astrology and you really want a cool little astrological thing that's not just like a deck of tarot cards, which are also cool. But these it's really cool. It's a very unique item. I don't see a lot of dice that are custom like this that actually have a really cool purpose.
Yeah. I think that really lends. I mean, it's a cool die on its own, but I think that makes it a good tool for a wide application of
absolutely.
Games.
Absolutely. I'm taking this one home with me. This is coming with me. So guys, thank you for dropping by. I really hope you enjoyed checking out the Zodiac Die. I think this was even cooler than I was expecting, to be fair. And hope you tune in again next week, maybe the coming weeks. We'll see how long we go with it. While we play some fantasy trip with these characters that we made. We'll have them all statted up for you by then. We'll go through it and kind of just have some fun. Yeah. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next time on SJGames Live.
Take care.